this was me back in January of 2025, just 8 months ago, and this is me now, right? This is the physique I have now, and I'll be honest, it was quite tough to get here, and that's because I didn't really have the right information. There's like so much videos out there, but I'll be walking you through an exclusive breakdown of what I'm eating in a day, right? Because I've seen you guys, you're probably coming from TikTok, you're probably coming from like Instagram, and you see my food, you see my eating, you see the way I structure things, but for yourself, it's just like you don't know exactly what to eat or like what not to eat. And honestly, you guys have been like, you have the workouts, you have like 3 to 5 times a week weight lifts, but the eating part is just super horrible, right? A lot of people have been struggling with this because they think it's just the gym, and they just lift the weights and everything else will be fine. But that's the biggest mistake I did when I was bulking last year, and it's really like been detrimental to the way I looked until I actually locked into what I was eating. Then everything really started to change. It really changed my life, right? So I'll be just walking you through what I eat in the day. This is my pre-workout meal right here. You see my pre-workout. I'm just gonna be going straight into it so you guys can make this as simple as possible, and so this video can be as short as possible, just for the sake of time. So I'll be walking you through this right here. So right here we have potatoes, we have eggs, and we have kiwi, and then right here we have a toast with a banana. Okay, so this is really recent right here. Okay, honestly, this is like probably a month recent of me eating something like this, but that's because I was cutting, right? But if you want to grow, right, I'm lean bulking right now, but if you want to grow, having a pre-workout meal is very important if you have the time, right? I used to train fasted and that worked out too, but if you want to grow, right, having a pre-workout meal like this, carbs, you have some kiwi for the fruit, and then you have eggs for the healthy fats. You don't have to have the eggs if you don't want to. It might be, upsetting to your stomach if you're in a workout or if you're gonna work out. But having just carbs, right, at least 80 to 100 grams of carbs before you work out, if you're trying to grow, is very almost essential, right? If you want to train fasted, and that's the best time for you to do, like if you have to go in the morning just without eating anything, totally fine. Just try to have a big, nice post-workout meal, right? I'll be showing you my post-workout meal too. I have legs today, so it's gonna be a tough workout. And then right here, we just have extra carbs. We have banana and toast. And honestly, if you're cutting, I would suggest that you can probably, decrease the portion sizes of this. Maybe you can have like, just two pieces of bread and 2 bananas. If you're bulking or if you're trying to lean bulk and trying to gain weight, I would suggest having a bigger carb meal. So it's just all up to you how your stomach feels. But that's because this carb meal is essential because it fuels your muscles before the workout. It makes this energy called glycogen into your muscles, right? That's what you use to lift the heavy weights. The glycogen is what's going to give you the heaviest potential in your workout, right? And it's been really helping me. The only reason why I added eggs to my personal plan is because when I lift like with legs, like when I do legs on leg day, I see like myself getting quite dizzy. I see myself like getting a little bit lightheaded. That might have to do with water too, but the eggs really like keep me like satiated in my mind. It has a lot of healthy fats and micronutrients, and so does ground beef too. And then the kiwi is also just micronutrients, and it's also just energy for your lift. And the potatoes, I had like 300 grams of russet potato, which is about 50 grams of carbs. And then you cook it, and then you're all set to go. If you don't have something like enough time to make a pre-workout meal, just have some bread, have some banana, drizzle some honey on that, and you're good to go. So I'll be eating this right now. That's exactly why I eat this the way I do. 80 to 100 grams of carbs if you can, minimum probably 50. But if you're really trying to go, I would say this is almost very essential, okay? So I'll be showing you after my workout what my post-workout meal is so that I can make this video as short as possible. Hold on, I think I forgot to mention this. So I would say have your pre-workout meal. I'm about to leave right now to the gym. At least an hour and a half or 2 hours before you go to the gym, before you start working out. If you're having something like smaller, I almost tripped there. If you're having something smaller, like just bread and banana, minimum just 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half. If you're having something like bigger, like the one I just had, like the meal I just had, at least an hour and a half to 2 hours so that you can have the food fully digested and you go into your workout not on a full stomach. That used to be like one of my beliefs. I used to like think like, oh, if I eat before the gym, I'm gonna feel bloated, I'm not gonna feel good, I'm gonna feel lazy and sluggish. But you just have to wait a little bit, or else if you go too soon, you know, you'll feel your stomach full still. And if you go too late, your food might be digested by then, and then it has to come out the other way, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna go right now. I just need to lock this door, and I'll see you probably after the gym. All right, so we just finished the leg session right now. Felt great. That pre-workout meal really helped me. Just give me the energy, and I waited a good amount of time before I went to work out. So right now is a crucial time. I'm quite sore right now to do my post-workout meal. So I'll show you what I get right now. I'm gonna be in the kitchen, and I'll show you not the final meal, but the post-workout meal for after the gym and why I eat it. All right, so we just finished cooking up the post-workout meal. Right now we have some chicken breast, we have some avocado, and we have white rice. So that's a great, well-balanced meal. And also we have an apple on the side. And I'll be explaining why real quick on why I'm having this meal and why you can copy this if you want. However, if you just make sure you tailor it to your macros, right? I'm having 8 ounces of chicken breast, 90 grams of white rice, well, uncooked, and then when you cook it, it obviously gets heavier because it absorbs the water. And then I'm having about 60 grams of avocado, and then just 1 apple on the side. So you can just tailor it to your macros. You can copy it if you want. I'm not saying that this is going to work always for you. You might need to eat less, eat more, based off what your goal is, but this is just what I'm eating to try to do a small lean bulk to put on some mass after my long and aggressive cut, honestly. So we have the chicken breast. Chicken breast is one of the most densest protein foods that I can ever find or ever eat, and it's very accessible. Usually I have ground beef for my post-workout meal, but I just forgot to defrost it to have it ready after the gym. So I'm just defrosting it right now for my last meal. But right now I have chicken breast ready, so I just cooked that up. That's why I always say to have 2 proteins ready in the fridge, just in case like you forgot to defrost one. So that's that. But if you didn't notice, I didn't even know this until recently. Having a carb is almost like very essential, unless you're doing like a keto diet. Obviously, if you're doing that and if it's working, kudos to you. But if you want to really maximize your muscle growth, having a carb after the workout is almost essential, because you remember how I was saying, like, before the workout, for your pre-workout meal, you have glycogen storages that you want to fill up, like from the carbs for the pre-workout meal. That was from the potato I had earlier. That was from the bread and the banana I had earlier. Usually those are the best foods for, pre-workout. And then after, when you use all that glycogen as the energy in your workout, you need to replenish. You need to refuel. It's just like a car. Refuel the car after you went to 0 to 100 in your workout, right? Assuming that you're training to almost failure, or at least training really hard, right? So that's why I started having carbs in my post-workout meal. I used to just always drink a protein shake, or just a protein shake with just milk, a banana, and protein powder. And sure, the banana is like some carbs, but you want to assuming if you work out a lot or if you work out really hard, you need a little bit more carbs than that. So that's why I have white rice as the carb source. If you don't want avocado and you're trying to minimize the fats, or if you're cutting, you can always mix this for like mixed veggies. That's a great way too, just to get the greens in, the green micronutrients from like the vegetables, the broccoli, the corn, the carrots, like those mixed vegetable baggies, like the bags. You just put in the microwave, heat it up, it's all good to go, and you just put it on the plate. And then for the apple, the reason why I have a fruit or a simple sugar in particular, because not all fruits are simple sugars, apples, tangerines, oranges, probably even gummy bears, if you will, juices, something that is like simple in sugar, to give you that spike of, not in a bad way, but like to give you a spike in your sugar, it'll rapidly produce insulin. And that insulin will drive all the macros of all the foods that you're eating into recovery mode. It will like double the speed of the recovery, because your body is the most prone to having more nutrients after you work out. It's like in a shock mode almost. It's like, oh shoot, we just broke down all this muscle, we just worked out really hard, we're tired, we have to it's like an emergency alarm. And then it produces this insulin when you eat like a apple or a simple sugar to just speed up the recovery with all the other micronutrients. Like this, that's a simple way of explaining it. I'm sure there's a more scientific way, but you're not here for the science. You're just here for just what to eat. Okay, protein, chicken breast, white rice as the carb, avocado or mixed veggies as like another, you know, side of like micronutrients, and then the apple or orange or like a kiwi, maybe a Capri Sun, gummy bears as like a simple sugar, like something that's very simple in sugar that will spike that insulin. And that is like one of the best post-workout meals I could show you. So this is what it looks like. I'll probably show like a B-roll earlier on, but that's the post-workout meal. I'll show you what the next meal is, and I'll show you exactly how easy it is to make it. All right, so we just took a shower right now, and I went around the block just to like get my steps in before I made this yogurt bowl, which I'm gonna show you right now. Just even though I'm lean bulking, I try to get my steps in just to stay as lean as possible. This doesn't mean that, oh, cardio is the answer to fat loss. Like, oh, let me just run instead of walk. No, walking is a low intensity type of cardio. And the misconception is that you're going to have to burn a lot of calories by just exercising so much and get so tired until you just gas out, right? That's not really the case, because if you do intense cardio with, you know, try to run, try to bicycle really intensely for the purpose of fat loss. Like if you're doing it for fun, that's totally fine. But if you're doing it for the purpose of fat loss, you're actually burning more carbs than you are fats, because carbs are meant for energy, quick energy. And if you're doing low intensity, like just walking, incline walking, then now, like if you're in that zone 2 range of your heart rate, which is the fat burn zone, then you're going to be burning fat because it's not as intense. So the body doesn't think it's necessary to burn carbs for quick energy. It's just a slow, steady, I'm telling like a slow, steady jog, if anything, or just a really high paced walk, right? So that's what I do. I try to get at least like 10 to 12,000 steps a day, just as a good range of just a benchmark. So that just came back right now, and now I just made this yogurt bowl, and I make my yogurt bowl typically after 1 to 2 big meals, right? I don't really start with a yogurt bowl because I want to get those micronutrients in, but I like to eat 1 to 2 big meals first, and then I like to give my body like a quick rest of digesting big meals. So I mean, it depends on how your body is. If you like to start off small and then end off big, totally fine, up to you, as long as you just get your macros in. But I have a yogurt bowl which consists of 2 cups of the Oikos yogurts. There's like little cups that these Oikos non-fat yogurt comes in. I'll probably include it somewhere here, like a little picture of anything. I do 2 cups of those, which is about 260 grams in total for 2 cups. So like 130 grams for each one. The thing is, with those cups, it says 150 grams and 15 grams of protein. But if you actually measure it out, it's actually 130 grams. So I mean, it kind of lies, but it's just a like small margin. I do 2 cups of those. I do 1 banana, and I do about 100 to 200 grams of strawberry, and I do blueberries as like the final topping. The blueberry and strawberry are the fruits, the banana, and I did some, this is actually new today, I did some chocolate. I melted some dark chocolate, and I just sprinkled some on top of the whole yogurt bowl, and I haven't even tasted it, so I don't know if it's gonna taste good, but that's what I typically do. This has like about 34 grams of protein, so it's like a quick way for you to get your protein in. And it's like almost like a dessert, honestly, because you have fruits. If you're dieting for long enough, fruits taste like dessert, in my opinion. So this is about like, I think it's like 400 calories, 35 grams of protein, some carbs, and very, very little fat. Probably no fat, if anything. But if you add like syrup or honey or maybe even chocolate, you might have some fat. But it's very minimal, very high protein, and it's very easy to make, like in 5 minutes or so. I have 1 more meal left before I finish my full day of eating. I'll be showing you my final meal, which is most likely, if it defrosts fast enough, it's gonna be ground beef with some turkey, and some rice possibly. So let's see if it defrosts on time. I'm gonna enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next meal. All right, for the final scene for this video, just gonna keep it short and simple. We have some ground beef, we have some turkey breast, and these flies won't freaking leave my plate. We have some ground beef, some turkey breast, and rice, right? I just reheated some rice just because I didn't want to make a whole nother batch, because I already made one earlier, as you guys saw, from the chicken and the rice. But I got some from the fridge. I just reheated it up. If you ever have any rice, just log it into my fitness pal and just put like white rice or just Jasmine rice, and then put comma cooked. That's just what I do to get the best estimate. It's not always going to be perfect, but we have the ground beef right here, the one that I forgot to defrost, and then we have the rice. I'll probably show some b-roll, and these freaking flies won't leave me alone. But just because I added the turkey breast was that I couldn't hit my protein goal with just the ground beef alone. I was like at 187-ish, and I want to hit 200 as much as I can. So I put some turkey breast in there, like ground beef, turkey breast, chicken breast, and what was the other one? Ground beef, turkey breast, chicken breast, eggs, and those are the main essentials I eat every day for protein wise, and yogurt too. So this is the final meal. I'm gonna have a little bit, this is like a little bit of more carbs than I usually eat, but that's because I had a workout today, and I'm gonna do some walking right now just because I want to get my steps up before the night ends, and I don't want it to be too late. I try to stay lean as possible with some steps, but this is essentially what I eat in a day. I'll put the macros here of the full day of eating. It should be like around 2,600 calories if anything, but that's essentially it. I'm gonna eat this right now. Turkey breast, ground beef, rice. Great great end to the day, honestly, because I like to eat whole foods. I used to be obsessed with like fast food and stuff like that, but now I've gotten more addicted to these. So that's how this is usually how I eat in a day right now, as of right now, for lean bulking. And I actually hope you actually learned something today. Like, you didn't just watch me just eat my foods and just didn't take any mental notes or just notes in general, but you actually are gonna apply some of these practices that I do. You don't have to copy all these meals like how I do it. This is about 8 ounces of ground beef. This is like 7 ounces of turkey breast, and this is about 8 ounces of cooked rice, right? So you don't have to copy these meals just copy and paste. You can decrease the portions, you can increase the portions depending what your calories and what your goals are. But if you still are confused at like trying to make your own meal plan and you're trying to get the physique that you want, like, you can get the workouts probably, and you just need to focus on the meals. I'll leave a link down below for you to book a call. That's if you want to. Obviously, this is like with the information in this video, you could probably make up your own meal plan, stick to it for a while, see how it goes. And if not, you can still, if you still want help, I'll leave a link down below for you to book a call, see if I can help you, and we'll dial in your meals right away. So I'll see you in the next video.